To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the off-grid lifestyle, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So today is our 2-month anniversary living on our new property. It's hard to believe that we've only been here 2 months. I mean, it seems like a lifetime ago, but it wasn't that long ago. We were parked at Mom's house for about a month and a half after we bought the property, getting things ready so we could come down here. You know, we had to buy the solar panels and charge controllers, had to buy the well pump. Now that all seems easy enough to do. It should only take a few days to do that. But on the other hand, I had to do a lot of research. I didn't know anything about well pumps. Not so much pumps, I understood pumps. I didn't understand how wells worked. So I come out here and I work about 3 hours a day. But apparently you can get a lot done in a 3-hour day. The other thing is I didn't use power tools. Well, beefy tractors and that kind of thing. I did it all with little hand tools. And the only power equipment that I really have is a little push mower sitting up underneath that tarp there. When we first got here, this whole place was just covered in brush. Sort of like that right there. This is the wood line. This up here was just as thick. Well, over here would be a representation of what we had down here also. Over here by the camper. Actually, when I drove down here, you could hear the briars scratching the paint of the truck. So, you know, I got to buff all of that out. And walking through this was just terrible. Oh, your legs would get ate up from all the briars. And so we had to set the camper up. Well, the biggest problem is the first night I was here, I twisted my ankle severely bad. And so I had to do it, and I was just taking half steps. It was miserable. It was absolutely miserable trying to get the camper off. We had to take it off the truck, and that was probably the worst day since we've been here, was trying to take that off. You know, I built the base down there. You can see where it's cut off at. I built that base at Mom's house. That was something else I had to do at Mom's house. So I built the base, and then we had to lower that off the truck onto the base. You know, just using jacks and bricks and different things that we could find around here, 2x4s. That was a challenging day. After that, everything seems to have went pretty smoothly. The second day, I had to install the well pump, you know, and that wasn't as bad as I thought. I guess because I was prepared and studied so much that, I don't know, within a couple hours, we had the well pump down into the well. Then we started working on getting the grass cut down. That was a big problem. I was so worried that when this time of the year actually got here, copperheads would just be everywhere. And to date, we've only seen 1 copperhead and 2 ringneck snakes. Not too bad. So what I had to do was I had to take a little sickle bar, this thing here, and just swing them back and forth, cutting that tall grass down. Yeah, it worked pretty good. And I'd work about 10 minutes a day, just whacking it back and forth. And within, I don't know, 2 weeks, I had it all knocked down. But I was also having to do this in the rain. It rained for 2 weeks solid. It stopped raining, which really slowed us down also. It was so muddy. And here I am with a twisted ankle, sliding around in the mud. You can see here that, you know, just walking around, we created mudslides and different things. It got so bad, I ended up digging some ditches just to get the water to run off a little better. I think on the 3rd day, I set up the solar panels, got us power going. So we ran 2 days straight off the generator, running power tools. The generator ran all day long for 2 days straight. Believe it or not, we just now started our 3rd can of gas. So we only used 10 gallons of gas in 2 months. That's also with the generator and the lawnmower. The solar panels have done a lot better than I ever expected. Once we got the well running, went out and bought an IBC tank. And so now what we do is we take the well water with the well pump and we pump it down into the IBC tank, we chlorinate it, and then we just use an RV pump. And when we want water, we can use DC electric right from the battery, just like an RV does, from the tank to the camper. And that has worked out really well. I keep it pretty topped off. So about every few days, I'll fill it up, even though it's only, I don't know, 75 gallons. That tank holds 275 gallons. So when it gets down to 200 gallons, I fill it up just in case either the well pump doesn't work or the generator won't start. It gives me time to fix whatever's broke and we won't run out of water. Also got the air conditioner installed, which we've been running off solar panels. Now we've only had it run 2 or 3 days. The other day, it got up into the 80s. It was pretty hot for some reason. And it ran most of the day. It didn't kick off very often. The solar panels kept up with it very well. So the air conditioner is working. Everything has worked out to plan except setting the camper down. That was the toughest part. Once it stopped raining, then we were able to start working on our tiny house. But in order to do that, we had to remove a mobile home from the mobile home trailer. From where the trailer is cut off here, we cut it off. On back was pretty much a completely intact trailer, except the sidewalls have been taken down. The roof was still up, the toilet was still in there, the bathtub was still in there, so we had to disassemble all that. Now, here to where we cut it off, the floor and the carpeting was still there. So once we got that tore apart, we started building the frame of the floor of our new tiny house using the 2x4s that we took off the trailer originally. Now those 2x4s were really bad shape. The ends were all rotted like this. So we had to cut off the ends and make usable 2x4s. So we had to kind of do a design change and put a center beam in there. Right now we're up to about, well, maybe $40 now. Cut the trailer frame from, here all the way back, and we cut it up in little pieces like this, about 6-foot lengths. I got 2 pieces that are 8-foot lengths. We're going to hang on to them. Original plan was we were going to throw them away or recycle them, but we're going to hang on to them for a little while. I don't want to junk up the yard. I mean, it's a beautiful place, and there's already a lot of junk in it as it is, and I don't want to add to it. My little piece of paradise, and I don't want to trash it up. We're trying hard to clean it up. I mean, it was just an absolute mess. Yeah, look at this. Kind of condensed the mess into one little area, and it still looks really trashy. So imagine that spread out all over the place. We had some issues with the well, so I had to concrete I got a tarp over right now until I can build a little house around the well, but we had to concrete the floor of the well so it would stop leaking groundwater down the well casing, and that has worked out pretty well. But for the last 3 days, I've been busy worrying about this winter. I don't want to be caught off guard this coming winter and have to use propane to heat our little camper here. And we're going to use wood heat, and there's just a ton of deadfall over here that we can use. And our neighbor has said that we can take the deadfall off his property also. So we're going to use wood heat to heat our camper. Now, how do you get a wood heater into a camper? The last 3 days we've been building an outdoor heat exchanger. I'm calling it a wood furnace. I'm going to be different. I'm going to be rebellious and call it a wood furnace. Homemade outdoor wood furnace. Although if you Google it, it's better if you Google outdoor heat exchanger. We bought a Franklin wood stove. These things are ancient. My grandma had one. I remember when I was a kid, she had that thing going all the time. And so then we wrapped it around with bricks. Now the bricks we've had to find throughout the property. We had them laying out everywhere. So I've been digging them up, and then we made a casing around it. So now we'll be able to heat exchange from inside the heater into the camper. We'll run ventilation and then a return that comes back down here at the bottom. And that was actually a bigger project than I expected. Maybe that's not true. I expected it to be a project because I had to figure out how to fabricate it. You can get designs offline, but you got to buy the specific materials, and I was trying to do it for free. So I would build it up, it didn't work, I'd tear it all down, build it up, tear it down, build it up, tear it down. And finally we got a design that works. And so then I'll start cutting some wood pretty soon. I don't want to go down in the woods this summer with the snakes and the ticks out here, but there's enough deadfall around here that I can at least start collecting some wood. I mean, like right there. And then when the leaves fall this spring, and I can see back down in the woods and I don't have to worry about snakes, I'll go down and I'll start cleaning this up as well. We'll have plenty of firewood. I expect that we're gonna need 1 cord of firewood to get us through. I mean, we're only heating a 6x6 box camper. So my point to this video is, it doesn't matter how out of shape you are. It doesn't matter if you twist your ankle. It doesn't matter if you work 3 hours a day. If you stay disciplined and you stay after it, you can accomplish a lot in a very short amount of time. I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. This is absolutely incredible to me, how much we've gotten done working at the pace that we've been working. So keep at it. It's great. Thanks for watching.